Hi, welcome back. So, in our last episode, we took a look at how we create tables in Microsoft Access. We got a chance to do a design for each of our tables, one for car, one for client, and one for our rental table. And we added in a couple stuff that we thought were necessary. Well, the field names that we thought were necessary along with the data types. Apart from that, we should have examined some field properties. I will leave that to you to read through some of the various field properties available. We touched a little bit on validation rule in one of the examples for gender, where the user would have to put in M or F, and then the validation text would be that it would give a pop-up box with the following text within it. We also got a chance to look at relationships, and we created those by simply dragging the line across, which gave us our one-to-many relationship, right? So our license number was shared as license number in here, and our license plate number here was shared with license plate number here. We noticed, and again we spoke about this, that it has in a primary key, which is our unique identifier for each table, and we also then this primary key moving across to this particular table then becomes a foreign key because it's found in another table. So we want to continue by learning how to create forms in Access and doing some basic control management by placing in buttons and combo boxes, things that will make our form a little bit easier to use, right? So let's see if we can get to that. Alright, so Access does a very good job at assisting us in creating forms very easily, just to get us up and going, and then we can do the editing of the form afterwards. To create your forms, you can click on the table, then go to the create ribbon and choose form. So again, select the table, click on create and form, and so it created our form for our car table along with a sub form if we wanted to use that for having a list of the people who rent those cars. So the next step then is to save this form, and so we can click on the close button, ask us to save, prompt us to save, yes, and we will save this as our car form. So we do the same thing for client. Select client, create form, and then we can close and save. And remember that forms will be used to enter data, so that the data is stored in tables. You can also enter data direct into tables if you wanted to, but forms, that's the purpose of the form, to give you that interface or give you that gateway that can be used to enter data, right? And of course it looks very user friendly, right? And it's easy to use, and we can modify it as we wish. So let's create form for the other table, rental table, create, and then form. So it's as easy as that. I know I need to save when I see this yellow marking around. It tells me that I'm in edit mode, and so I need to save, and I'll call this one my rental form. Okay. So there, I've created my 3 forms. I can double click on them to see what's up with them, how they look, and then we'll be doing a little bit of modification with it. But first I want to put in some data so that we have some data to work with. I will add data to my car form, which will be my cars sitting in my parking lot being ready for rental. I will also add in a couple clients into my client form, and I'll hold off on rental so I can show you the relationship between the car and the the car and the rental and the client together, right? So to the bottom here, I have my record navigation bar, which allows me to go to a new record, next record, last record, and new blank record. Once I've placed in a record in here, then I would click on new record to add in a new record. So let me give you an example. We're going to place in records for, let me start over. We're going to add in cars into our farm. And so I'm the person using the database. I want to add in my first car, right? So my license plate number might be car 201, right? We'll put the color to blue. Let's say it is a Toyota. It's a Hilux. It's a 2002, right? So that's my first car in my parking lot, right? And remember, we could have added in more field if we wanted to, more fields. This is okay for us at the moment, and so I want to add in a new record, and so I click on new blank record, and there the record is gone. It should be stored in tables at the moment. Let's verify that. So I'm going to close my form, and if I double click the car table now, it should contain that data, or that record, sorry, that I placed into my form was sent to the table, right? And so form again only serves as that gateway to the table, and so we can use it to add data into our database. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this video and fill out the rest of the record for both the cars and for my clients, and I will talk about the rental one together. So let me pause and fill that out and get back. Alright, so I have my data filled in. I have 5 different cars placed in my database table for car table, and I've also filled in about 3 clients, right? And I just want to show you, and I haven't done anything for rental, so I just want to show you how we go about filling in the rental table. So my rental form, it has new here, because if you can recall, we use auto number as our data type. So the computer will automatically fill in a new number for us for rental ID. So let's say I have a client who comes in and wants to rent a car. I would first need their license number. If it was an existing client, I would need a license number found in my client table. So let me take a look at that. So let's say this guy, or this female, sorry, wants to rent a car from me again. Her name is Mel and Kat, right? Her license number is M236, and so I would use this license number as the license number that would go here, M236. And she wanted to rent one of my cars from my batch of cars that I have, and let's say she wanted to rent the third car, which was a Toyota Runner, and she wants to rent that one. I would need the license plate number, which is CAR 203, to place in here, and I could put in the date rented using my date picker, and I can also add in the price she will pay for that rental. So let's say she's doing 1 day, and so she's renting for duration of 1 number of days, right? And I should have placed something in here that tells me that I need to enter only a single digit if I'm doing it like this, right? But I'm just, for demonstration purposes, we're entering the price, we're entering the duration. You should have been able to calculate price again based on duration, but that's fine for now. So we could see how difficult it gets when you need to be back and forth trying to figure out who it was found in your database, whether you need to add a new client, and we could also see the same thing for the license plate number for cars. So a good feature with forms is that we can change these text boxes, into a combo box to give us a list, and have it show the name of the individual, but store the license number. Also for the license plate, we could have it just pull up a list of license plate numbers found in our car table, and so we don't have to be going back and forth. We can simply click on a drop down arrow and it will give us a list of what was found in our database. Okay? So let's look at how we do that. Okay? So I'm going to save this one, and I want to now edit my form. Right? So let me show you quickly. The rental table now contains, let me close these. Yeah, your rental table now contains your first rental. We know that this is the person's license number, so we can link that to their name, and we know that this is the license plate for the car, so we can link that to that car. Right? All right. So we want to modify our rental form again for our drop down menus. So let's do that. We can right click on the rental form, and we can choose our design view, because now we want to edit our form. So what we're changing is our license number. We wanted to show the person's name instead, but remember that we wanted to store the license number still within the database, because that's our relating field. So we'll click on the text box and click on and choose delete to get rid of that text box. Now in the design tab up top, there is a control called combo box. That's the one we want to use. So I click on combo box and I come into where I want it, and I can draw in a small box in the area where I want it, and it's unbounded right now, so it's not connected to anything, and it brings up a wizard that will assist us in setting what we want within it. So it says I want a combo box to get another value, to get values from another table. That is exactly what we want. Or we could type our own list. Okay? Or we could find record from a form based on my selection. So I want the first option, which is to get data from another table. The table I want to pull from, remember that's the license number for my client, and so I want to pull from the client table. So I select that and choose next. What I want displayed within the combo box. Remember, we have trouble remembering what the license number is, and so we could have the computer display the person's first name. So I send that across, and we could also do last name. So we're seeing the person's entire name. So next, we can sort our fields to make it easier to find. Let's sort by last name, and we can sort in ascending order is okay, right? And you notice we can do multiple sorting if we wanted to. So next, this is a list of people I already have in my database, so this is how it would be displayed. Let's click on next. Then it says, what do you want access to store? Now remember, we were saying that we wanted to see the names, but we actually want to store the license number for that person. So let's go to store that value in this field, and we will choose from here the person's license number. Then next, what would you like to label the combo box? We'll leave the name the same as we had before, which was the person's license number, and then we can click on finish. So if you notice now, the box looks a little bit different. There's a little drop down arrow beside it. We're in edit mode. This label that is beside it, we could go ahead and resize that so that it kind of fits into the rest, like the others, right? so it doesn't look out of place. And that's pretty much it. Let's save this, get it out of edit mode. So save, yes, and let's see how that looks. So now when we're adding in data, and I'll just go to a new blank record. When we're adding in data, our license number, now if we click here, we can type it in, or we can come to our drop down menu and see a list of names, right? So let's say I want to rent a car to Jer. I can click on his name, and again we would have to know the license plate number. So we also would want to do the same thing in line with what we did just now. We want to do the same thing to this field, to have a drop down list of our cars that we have, so that we can make it easy for us to find the cars that are within our database, right? So let's do that quickly. So I'll go back, design view, I'll change this to, and remember that's our license number. We'll use a combo box, make that size. We want to get data from another table. This time it's our car table. We want to know, and it's okay, we are okay with the license plate number. We just want to really see the list, right? So we want to know license plate number. Next, we can sort license plate number ascending, that's fine. Next, gives us a list. Value we want to store is our license plate number, and we are calling this our license plate number, right? So our card number if we did. So finish. We resize like we did earlier, just to have everything fit, and this is better done in the layout mode, which kind of allows it to pop into place, right? So we can always go back to layout mode afterwards, and then we save. So now if I go to enter a new record, say for example new record, then I can select the person's name, I can select the car number that they're renting from our drop down list, I can type in what date they rented the car, I can put in a price, right, and the number of days they rented for, right? So you see how easy it is for me to add data. Now once I have a combo box, I can just select data that was found in my other table. This can also be done through tables using one of the feature called lookup, which I did not show you guys, but we could take a look at that at some point, right? So if it's something you want to know, or something that I missed, I don't want to make the videos too long, leave it in the comment below, and I'll see if I can create a small video clip on that. But for now, this is creating forms, adding in combo box, and I should show you how to add in a button to move from one table to from one form to the other very quickly. So let me show you that quickly. Adding in a button, and the procedure is the same, right? So let's right click, design view, go to your controls, we'll choose button, I'll draw it into place. So let's say I forgot there is a new client I want to add in. These are the different categories that are of things that we can do with our button. We want to do a form operation, we want to open a form, we want to open our client form in case we need to add a new client. We can open the form to show specific data or all data. We'll do all data. How we want the button to look, open form, let's call this our client form, and then next. And the command, this is for whatever we want to call the button, it doesn't display that. We leave it as command 28 for now, and then finish. So if I were I'll save. If I forgot to, if there's a new client who comes in and I'm filling in my rental and there's a new client that comes in that I don't see, I can click here and it takes me to my client form. right? Likewise, it would be nice to have some buttons on the side that takes us back to the rental form, right? But I leave that for another video, right? So that's where I stop. That's creating forms. Next, we can take a look at how to create queries. So we have done, we're done with forms. We're done with the basics of tables. So we're halfway through our database. The next important thing is, how do we get data back from our database, or how do we get information back from our database by creating queries. So I'll see you in the next segment. Thank you.